The world is in flames. The Arab street is erupting. The Israeli and American embassies across the world are under siege. And the president has landed in Israel. Yet despite that, despite the biggest regional war in the Middle East in 50 years, despite the risk of war between Azerbaijan and Armenia, despite escalations on the borders between Serbia and Kosovo, despite the migrant crisis and chaos in Central and South America, nothing can disrupt the chaos in the Republican House of Representatives. It is quite extraordinary. 200 federally elected officials voted for Jim Jordan to become the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. It is extraordinary. This man is unfit, and profoundly so. It's not just that he covered up a systemic sexual assault ring at the Ohio State University when he was involved in the wrestling program, all of which will be made much more clear when the George Clooney produced documentary focused on that scandal airs later this year. But Jordan, besides covering up a sexual scandal, demonstrating his immorality, is unfit for public service. He's a vandal, a nihilist, and a demagogue. And the one thing that Jim Jordan will make certain of is that the Ukrainian Defense Forces are choked off from the vital supplies they need to fight and win the war against Russian aggression. The Russian aggression is being stopped with Ukrainian blood and American weapons. Should those American weapons cease to flow to Ukraine under a Jim Jordan speakership, the results will be dire. It will increase exponentially the likelihood that Americans will be killed again on European soil in a European war fought because of the aggression of a European power, this time Russia, not Germany. This war can be stopped and American lives protected in one way. The Ukrainians must win, but Jim Jordan doesn't want the Ukrainians to win. He's a Putin guy. He is not in favor of America's ideals and ideas. He does not support democracy. He has done everything he can over his short congressional career to break the institution. And he stands singularly atop a pyramid of dysfunction. Near the top is the Nazi dentist from Arizona, Paul Gosar, the trashy congresswoman from Colorado, Lauren Boebert, the conspiracy loon, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the attention-seeking diva, Nancy Mace. These people cannot be trusted with the nation's safety. They're reckless, they're silly, and they're small. There's a question at hand. The Republican Party is often described, including by me, as lock, stock, and barrel controlled by Donald Trump. And that's true. The question is it completely controlled? Are there 20 people who will hold the line through the second ballot and the third and the 5,510th, if necessary, saying, never, I will never vote for this unfit person to be second in line to the office of President of the United States, because I care about my country. I have a duty and responsibility to its citizens, because I'm a federally elected member of Congress and I have the honor to sit under the Capitol Dome, where I'm charged with the nation's safety. How many people will hold that line? Over and over again over these recent years, that line has collapsed over and over again. I'm not confident that it will hold this time. but it's held so far. Jim Jordan, like his predecessor, Kevin McCarthy, is simply unfit. He's unfit for a position of national responsibility in a serious time. And his unfitness endangers us all. The drama that's playing out in Washington is a foreshadowing of what is to come. The last warning America will receive about the terrible, terrible storm that is gathering was the attack in Israel. There you see the price of political decay, of division. You see what happens when your enemy thinks you're weak. What follows is death. What follows are existential threats to the country, to the way of life. There is a cost to placing over and over and over again the most unfit people in a society into its most important positions of political power. The cost is chaos. The cost is suffering and ultimately death. This Jim Jordan election is no small thing. It's a big thing. And if somehow that line doesn't hold and Jim Jordan swings that gavel down, you'll know one thing. This country, the United States of America, has taken one giant leap towards the edge of the cliff and the edge of the abyss.